Lord, and welcome once again for another episode of the Angaza Show. My name is Pastor T. Mwangi, and today we'll be looking at the culture of giving and receiving. And I'm going to repeat because I believe the culture in Kenya is more of receiving and less of giving. We want to look at the culture of giving and receiving. It's amazing. There is nowhere in the Bible where you find the word more blessed other than where the scriptures say it is more blessed to give than to receive. And I believe this has to be engraved as a culture for people to understand and see the results. And we'll be having this conversation and just see how can we develop this culture and also look at the reality of how many things can you give except money. Because when people hear of this conversation, they think the only thing you can give in life is money. But there is so much that you can give. And in the process of giving, there's so much that you can receive. We want to talk about the culture of giving and receiving. The definition of culture is the set rules by certain communities and operations of, apparatus of operation in a certain setting of people. So that tells me that giving can be a culture and receiving will be automatically. There's something they call the law of reciprocity. It is in giving that we receive. It's not vice versa. It's in receiving that we give. Anyway, want to have this conversation. And karibu sana. So God bless you once again. It's nice to see you again.
Yes, thank you.
It's a big blessing.
Yes,
thank you. The culture of giving and receiving. But let's begin with an introduction.
Yes. My name is Tuesday Shege and I'm a life coach and also a HR professional, and a mother, a wife. So yes, the culture of giving and receiving is a very interesting topic for us to get into today.
I think there is only one time Kenya, I can't remember which nation, but we're even surprised. The nation, I think, had gone through a certain tragedy and we gave. I think it was during the Kibaki era. For the first time I heard Kenya has given.
Yes.
But many times we hear tumeenda kukopa, tumeenda kuomba, tunahitaji msaada, serikali saidia. So we live in a generation where we have been cultured to receive, but we are not cultured ever even to give. So let's begin with what is this? What is this culture of giving and receiving? What can we give? Because people think all I can give is money.
Yes. I think the culture of giving and receiving, if you look at our own cultures when where we come from, and I remember vividly during my my childhood, if somebody came to our home, they would come with they call it a kiondo, a basket. So one, we were told you don't go visiting without something. You going, you should not go empty-handed, regardless. You better buy a packet of milk or fruits, but it's not good to go empty-handed. So that was a culture. Then the other thing was that when somebody comes with that, then you need to reciprocate.
Yes.
Right? Because they brought a basket. So if you have some eggs or something, whatever you have, give.
The basket didn't go empty.
It doesn't go empty. So that's a culture, I believe, in many other people's culture, where the giving, I don't know where we lost it. Because then when it comes now to giving in church, for example, there is a giving in church, which is clear commandment from God with a promise.
Yes.
Which amazes me.
In that traditional culture, December ndo unaionanga sana. Wanasemanga watu wa Nairobi, wanabebanga chakula, alafu wanaikula.
Ni yao, si ya wageni, ni yao.
Alafu wanamaliza. Alafu wakirudi Nairobi, whatever is in that house, wanabeba yote, kuku, vifaranga, mayai, everything in that house, wanabeba wanaleta Nairobi. So it looks like they carried their stock. It was not a
it was not a giving.
It was not a giving.
Giving something you cannot take back, or you're not. Consider giving something that you will not, is not for you.
Yes. But I like what you're saying, that the culture there was you'll go with this basket. And you'll carry something. And naturally people will know because you brought something, your basket cannot go back empty.
So that culture should have translated to our life in how we do things, how we engage, how we give, right, in our day-to-day, giving a seat to someone who you feel is much older or needs it more than you. These days, I'm not sure that people will give a seat. Giving your time. There's so much of giving. Giving your time, you know, like, for example, for people with elderly parents who are back in shags, they want somebody to give them time, right? Not just Christmas, as you said.
Okay.
Come visit with me, ask them all those stories, the stories that you never wanted to know about them. So time is a giving, right? So you're giving your time to somebody who actually needs it. You're also giving your talent. So each one of us has a gift and a talent that is natural to us. There are things that just come naturally.
Yeah.
And so what is expected of us, whatever God has given us, it's not for our own. It's to be a blessing to somebody else.
That's true. That's true.
Isn't it? So whatever blessing I have of whatever talent, if it is singing, then I could sing in the church. Or when they need somebody to sing a chorus, you are there.
Okay.
Because it comes naturally to you. If the MC, there are people who are very good with that. So it's using your talents at whatever situation to be a blessing to others, right? So coming to giving money, for example, if you're a Christian, then you know what the Bible says about giving. And then even the promises. What amazing is me about that is that God says, see, test me and see when you give your tithe. Test me. And see if I'll not open the floodgates of heaven. Imagine that. But we are still hesitant. Like, kweli. So you'd rather use another alternative way than believe what God has said. So those are principles about the church. And then there is also your time. And sometimes you say, I have nothing to give. You're looking for a job. And you're like, I have nothing to give. You have time.
Wow.
Isn't it? You have a lot of time. So in your home, what can you improve? What can you support? How can you add value in the space you are in? Right? Not just sitting and waiting. What value can you add? So there's so much giving opportunities we can do. And the going over and above is the acts of kindness. So once in a while when you're at the shop, you can say, I'll pay for that person's shopping.
I've ever done that.
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
Yeah.
We need to go shopping together.
So you just say, okay, nitamlipia ama you leave the money. You just leave the money and just go, right? So any acts of kindness that you think will impact, in some place where we lived abroad for many years, and there is a concept where you just leave some money in a restaurant, and that is for whoever doesn't have money. You know, you can come in, or the people on the streets can come. That must be in
Europe. I hear that's very common in Europe. Italy?
Yes, So we lived in the UK, in the US, but there is that, the giving, that just giving, because you feel there's somebody less fortunate, and if I can have this coffee, maybe somebody else may like it, but they don't have the money, right? So a giving culture where you look for every opportunity to be a blessing, because when you give, you're also blessed. Really, it adds more mileage to you than the other person. You're more who is more blessed, the giver or the receiver?
It's the giver.
Sindio?
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
What are some of the benefits, in your own life practically you can say, I've seen this and this happen just out of generosity?
Yes, so out of generosity, I have seen impact in my life that I am able to, so because there's some kind of, like if you open your hand, you give, then you somehow you receive. But if you don't, your hand is closed, so there's no space to receive. Sindio? So you receive a lot of blessings. I have received lots of blessings. They may not be monetary, but opportunities and blessings just because you choose, because it's a choice. You choose to give either your time or your money or your talent because you're blessed to be a blessing. So the benefit of opening doors, like the Bible says, opening doors in different ways, in different forums. And being able, the other thing I believe is that tithing, especially, or giving to kingdom, that is the best banking you can ever do. So for me, I feel that that also works, because then if you give to the work of God, then it also helps to minister to others and also help others. And also for you, you are obeying what you've been told to do, right? So it is just blessings all over, because then you have chosen to give.
How do you deal with a person who's stingy?
Yes. Oh.
How do you deal with them, and how can you deal? Possibly
Yes.
Many come on the other side of the divide. I think I'm perpetually receiving, but I don't give.
Yes.
How can one cultivate this culture?
Yes, so the culture is to remember that you have, right? You have something to give. And I'll give you an example. I have a niece that is a young girl. She's 13. And for example, I would support with her, she's going to school and she said, I don't have an atlas, perhaps I will just send the money, right? A few little things that she may need. But out of any other person I help, that little girl asked the mother for her phone to call me. She calls me just to say hi. And she doesn't do reverse call. Okay.
It's the credit.
Yeah. She calls and says, Sasa auntie, habari yako?
Auntie wa mado.
Sasa habari yako? And I'm like, oh, how sweet. And I'm like, the last time she's called, I said, I should call you first, because you keep calling me, right? And she's not calling to ask for anything. She's just calling to check on me. Wow. That touches me, because you see, she's giving. She's giving her time and space and checking on me. So in a way, I feel like sometimes it's God talking to me, because maybe at that time I needed somebody to affirm me or to give me, just something. So, and God uses anybody on anything. So we should be sharp in listening with how what God is speaking to us, where God wants us to give and what we need to give, whether it is time, whether it is energy, whether it is talent. We should just be sensitive to that. Yeah. So the stingy person, I would say, the person who feels they are stingy, I would say, is that you actually have something you can give, and start small. Start giving slowly. There was a time also I wasn't very good in giving, and I have a sister who is very generous. You can give her 10K and somebody comes and she gives it. And she didn't have. So I wouldn't do that. Okay. So because I have to also be responsible for my own bills. But she's the kind that will give out of everything. Like that generous giving that costs her, right? And that's what we are called to give sacrificially. But she's that person. She would rather be left with nothing. And so she taught me the giving, that I can actually be generous, that I can give others. So it didn't come naturally, I wouldn't say. So even for that person who is struggling to give, just know it opens many doors. It is actually a more benefit to you, and look for different ways you can give, even a compliment. Like, oh, today you are looking good. Wow. Right? That's a giving. That uplift somebody's
kama unakitu ya kugive, at least peana compliment.
Si ndio? Na iwe genuine.
Yes.
See what, you are looking good just because you want it. But be genuine, because maybe that person needed that word. Yes.
So what I'm getting is that the scope of giving is so wide.
Yes.
It's only that we've narrowed it down to material things.
Yes, correct.
There are many things that we can give outside there, and it brings a whole lot of difference.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. So we need to be a giving culture, not receiving. So there is a bit of receiving where you are forever receiving. And remember, when you are look at a bank, the way bank operates. If you are saving, you deposit.
Yes.
So you keep depositing.
Yeah.
You deposit. So the person who gives is depositing into that account of giving. Okay. So assume you have an account. This is a giving account. So you are giving account. So you keep depositing. the person who receives and doesn't deposit keeps withdrawing.
Yes, yes.
If you're not depositing, what happens?
There will be nothing in the
There
account.
will be nothing.
Wow.
Right?
Let's pick that thought right there. We want to take a small musical break. We're just talking about the culture of giving. Mimi nimeona by the way, hata kama una kitu ya kupeana unaweza ambia mtu akapo. By the way, you look good.
Thank you.
So welcome back and thank you for joining us right now. We're having a conversation on the culture of giving. And of course, giving cannot go alone. It goes with the culture of receiving. And we've seen that giving is more like an investment. It's the more you give, the more you create room for receiving. And you don't just need to give materially. There are so many things that you can give and they're not material. You can give a compliment, you can give your time, you can give your treasures, you can give your talent, so that it can be a blessing and beneficial to somebody else. When you look at Kenya, do you think there are places we need to adjust when it comes to the culture of giving? And what is our problem?
Yeah, so looking at Kenya is that we keep changing our who we are. In a way, we have ended up being very Western, but also not doing the Western things.
Okay.
Right? So the same thing with Western, when you're in the UK or in the US and somebody invites you for dinner, you go with something. You could take a bouquet of flowers or something or chocolates, depending on who you're taking. So, but we are so quick to embrace Western concepts that we forget that we have such a rich culture that we need to go back and talk to our elders and relearn how should we be giving, being able to give, and to remove that mind of receiving, the one that people say, yeah, it's like your life depends, you owe me, like you feel entitled. For example, when you take the issue of people, the diaspora keeps giving, giving. And what I have learned while abroad is that I realize if I keep giving, I'm not helping that person because they are becoming dependent.
But there's a mindset, if you're out of the country, you're making good money. And me, I'm in this country, the economy is not good, you're in a first world country, and you send me $100, that's like 13,000 shillings. And because you're doing well, you have to support us. We're in the village.
So that's an assumption, doing well. What do you mean by doing well?
Because the photos you send us there, you look like you're doing well.
Correct. So there is also the perception.
Yes.
So for me, I made a decision. I'm not going to lie about the reality. The reality is that it's a hard life.
Okay.
Right? So you are juggling work, you are juggling the kids, you are juggling so much, and you have bills to pay. So that perception, Maju, is that you have the dollars. It's hard earned, I must tell you. That you have couples that the husband gets in the morning, and then the wife leaves. Shift. Because now it is his shift to wake with so the wife has come in, she has been night shift, she needs to clean these kids up, make breakfast, take them to school, catch some sleep. Right? If we were to be honest with the reality, and you see now that shift, and the money that you have earned hard, and then somebody, you give them 100, and they even say, mia moja tu, and the way you have a lot of money. There's no lot of money. It's hard work, because even if you're getting $15 an hour, you have bills to pay, you have train to pay, you have insurance to pay. There's so much. If people are to be realistic and say what comes in and what I'm saving, you'll be very surprised. But of course some people want to keep that picture that we are doing good. Getting a car in the US is very simple. In the UK, you can get a $500 car. $500 car. Simple and nice that you can run around with. So, but the reality is that it is hard. So we
getting
should
that
not
dollar,
expect.
getting that euro, you have to work for it.
You have to work for it, and therefore when you're giving somebody, let there be not that entitlement. let them show what they're doing for it, and then okay, you can give out of your own kindness. If you're supporting your parents, that's something you must do. It's our responsibility. But there is some mentality where that person, even when, say for example, you come and visit, my experience, you will come and that person will not even invite you at their home for dinner to cook for you.
Wow.
Right? They will just simply say they want you to take them out to Java, and then you foot the bill. Honestly, really, in the UK, the culture is if you ask me to come to take me out for lunch, you are paying.
You are the one paying the bill.
Yes.
It was your deal at the end of the day.
Yes, you did your maths and decided, oh, I'm inviting you for lunch. So
I believe it's the same culture of receiving that also now makes us victims of debt. What are some of the things we need to adjust?
Yes.
Lifestyles and practically for us now to move from this receiving culture, debt culture. And you know, the other day they showed how many young people are listed in the CRB. Because you know, all these online platforms where people borrow from, they are there with very high level of interest, and they are very accessible. They're on our phones, and many people don't even pay back. And you see, it's that culture that I want to receive. When they launch what they call the Hustler Fund, the money is not there. Nobody has returned.
Oh dear.
The whole system collapsed.
Yes.
So what are some of the things, you know, disciplines and things we need just to begin to work on? So we work on this culture and introduce the culture of now giving.
Of giving. One, you learn about the deposit and the withdrawing, right? So if you get a loan, that's a debt.
Okay.
So you have the discipline that you can borrow and pay. Because banks, how do banks make money? Interest.
Yes.
So if you borrow however money, then either you are sure that you'll be paying it back at a certain time given. So honor that.
Okay.
So borrow what you can pay. Don't borrow what you cannot pay, right? You know, there are many people with credit cards that borrow all over, but they don't pay. So you borrow what you can pay and have a plan on how to ensure you pay. If you default, have conversation with whoever person who've lent you the money, so that you have a way of, okay, let's regroup. I need to, something has happened, can we adjust the payment terms? But be honest. I think that's the other culture. People know there is no honesty on Talipa, or when somebody has your deni, they don't even answer your call. Be honest. Because next time you will need my help, or you will need the bank's help. So if you burn your bridges, so utakuwa ukienda to different places. So, and even you know the credit history, how is it built?
It's by the ability to repay.
Yes, so the ability to repay, it means that you get more credit, more credit. Then you have a good standing. Yes.
So we need the discipline we need to understand that whatever you borrow has to be given back.
Yes.
And the culture of always returning, and the culture of always giving back whatever we've taken.
Yes.
And you see, this thing, I feel like it has even taken a national angle. Anytime our politicians are outside there, we know. Someone said when you put an image of Africa, lazima utafute mtoto akona kainzi kwa mapua. You know, trying to show that washe kind of image. I saw some images going online and saying whatever the West know versus what Africa is. They say a man landed in JKIA, and when he landed, he said, now take me to Kenya. Because he knew this cannot be Kenya. Yana juanga Kenya. Ni Masai anasimama na mguu moja, you know.
Exactly.
na mshale. Na weva zile traditional hata. So he said, now we've landed, now take me to Kenya. Was told you in Nairobi, Kenya. He said, no. This is not what we see.
Yes.
Whatever we see is totally different. So, and I think that the culture is also quite deep. Maybe anything that you can share with someone watching just to enhance the culture.
The culture of giving is that it starts slowly, and know that the world expects you to do your part, right? Each one of us has a role to play. And so if we have a talent, if we have a gift, let's use it for the benefit of others. And that way is how you spread network, people realize, oh, so and so can sing or can do this, can drive. Use your skills and also be proactive, right? So you go to either your parents or your manager and say, I have this idea. What do you think? Right? Because those are the creativity, the innovativeness. So be proactive in saying, I think this place, we need to fix it.
Is it key to set boundaries and parameters when it comes to giving? Using the law that says the hand that receives will never get tired of being stretched.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So it's good to put boundaries. The other thing I must say about Kenyans, they are very good in supporting extended family.
Yes.
Right? So people, you hear somebody is staying with their cousins, with their aunties, you know, like in Nairobi, for example, the people in Nairobi, you would be hosting several people from your village and also educating people. So that's a credit to most Kenyans. We are good at supporting our extended family. I think that is a good culture that we should maintain. So therefore, continue doing that, the giving in that aspect, and just now look for other ways to also manage your money. Because the other thing I realize is that being a culture where we are called upon, say a harambe comes, somebody sent you a text and says, oh, we are doing harambe, or join this group, we are doing harambe, or there is rorashio. So there are things I don't do. I don't join rorashio groups. Cannot help you do your own wedding, right? Just go to the pastor and have your wedding at your budget, right? So there are also other things about, so you set your boundary, like there is so many things that are demanding your money. So how do you do your financial management? You say, I will only earmark a certain amount to give for whatever, so that you are not always giving and end up realizing you don't even have lunch and you have given out. So it's also good to set boundaries and say, maybe I'll have a kitty for, if you want the act of kindness. So once a month I will spend 100. Yeah? Yeah. And
how do you deal with people who feel entitled to be given? You know, there are people who feel you're okay.
Yes.
Me, I'm not okay. So I feel like you ought to support me. And some of them are very close family members. Yes.
Yeah. You see, now they are coming from the perception of money, isn't it? For
there are
you to
people who
think
really
I'm
struggle.
okay, they feel.
And some of these things is so bad because you realize it's not even fair. You realize I've had young people talk about quote unquote toxic parents.
Yes.
You know, you are working,
Yes.
you're earning a very little salary,
Yes.
but there is a demand
Yes.
at home.
Yes.
What are you doing with 20,000 at your age?
Yes.
But the life in Nairobi, 20,000 is nothing.
Yes.
But in the village, 20,000 can do a lot.
Can do a lot.
How do you, wisdomly, how do you manage such?
So managing those things, so you have a 20K and there is demands. So it's being realistic on what you can. Because if you remember, even maybe my time, not yours, perhaps you lived at with very little, right? So if you don't start early to give, saying, oh, I have only 20K, I can't give, then you can't wait for 100 to give. So if you cannot give the 20,
I'm talking of a scenario where you give,
Yeah.
but the people feel it's not enough.
Okay, the entitlement.
Yeah,
yes, the entitlement. So you've given, and then they feel like, no, you haven't. So it's just having that honest communication.
Yes, and the manipulation that comes. Mimi nilikuza, nikakubeba miezi 9, nikakusomesha, sasa umepata pesa, umenisahau.
Kabisa.
Mungu anakuona.
That one is serious. So I think we should be more careful as parents and the words we say, because then you realize the 20. So if you have a good conversation with your child about their finances, so how much is rent? How much is maintenance and all that? And actually, if you actually give them that spreadsheet and say, you can even send a screenshot and say, Mom, this is how I am managing, and this is what I give to you, and this. They might tell you, okay, or maybe ask them, what's the suggestion? What would you suggest I adjust, for example? Because then maybe because they don't know, they may decide, okay, you owe me. But then also agree, you could even agree on a certain amount. Say, Mom, I can only afford to give you this much.
You know, I really understand you. We've had this conversation with young people. Unaambia mama unaishi kwa one bedroom, anakuuliza haujaoa. How dare you live in a one bedroom? Unavaa kwa bed sitter. You know, like you feel it's my money.
Yes.
But there's a lot of authority on how I need to spend it.
Yes.
And also there's a lot of demand on what I ought to give you, because in the village one bedroom is a house that can accommodate 8 people. In Nairobi one bedroom, even the size and everything is an upgrade of a bed sitter.
Yes.
Yes.
That's not realistic, because then that's why the person came to Nairobi. Is there a job there then she can do? There is not that job for that amount of money. So I think as
so they should not feel guilty in terms of saying this is my budget and this is the much I can afford to give you.
Exactly. I don't think you should feel guilty, but give. What I'm saying, you should give, but have your own budget, manage your own finances wisely, give to church, give to friends, or whatever the causes you feel are dear to you and your parents. And slowly, just let them know. You know, some of them may say that you need to educate your sister or your brother. You know, those things used to happen those days. But this, in our times, perhaps not. We need to take responsibility as parents where we can to do our part and not put so much pressure. There's so much happening. We shouldn't be giving a lot of pressure to our children, but have those financial conversations so they learn how to give, how to budget well, how to ensure they are saving for whatever they are saving. So you should also, it's just wisdom in how we manage those conversations, and parents not to put that pressure, because there's so much that the children are going through. And I think you can trust them to make the right decision about the money they have, because it's theirs and it's their salary. So they can choose not to give you anyway. They can. Yes. And it's okay. You should be okay with that. You cannot demand a child to give you your money if they don't. And remember, God loves a cheerful giver. So it's not good to give.
When his harass is not cheerful.
It's not cheerful.
It becomes obligation. Well, thank you very much for that insight. We really bless the Lord. It's a tough conversation.
Yes, it is.
Because I believe giving is a good thing. But just as we've said, some people can stretch it and it can become burdensome. But I also like the point that we don't just give material things. There are many other things that we can give outside there. Anyway, thank you for those who've joined us. Right now, we'll just meet you at the Crossroads segment. Otherwise, it's a conversation that we ought to begin and continue. If this culture gets in our nation, so many things are going to change. And I know it's already there. Kenyans are very generous, but there must be a defined cause. See you at the Crossroads segment. So welcome, this is the Crossroads segment. They say that life is governed either by laws, principles, and disciplines. And the problem is that you either understand the laws, the disciplines, and the principles that govern life. Otherwise, life will not run or operate as per your demands, emotions, and feelings. And the earlier you master these 3 things, you're on the path of success and you'll begin to enjoy life. Now, when we come to the matter of giving, it is not just a principle thing, but it also applies as a law that governs life. The same way we have gravity. Whatever goes up, because of the force of gravity, it must come down. That's the principle of the law of gravity. Now, when we look at the concept of giving, it goes beyond being a principle. It goes beyond being applied as a discipline, but it applies as a law. That's why the Bible says that it is in giving that we receive. And this law is captured under what we call the law of reciprocity. So forget receiving if you're not giving. And automatically, if you give, then receiving is activated automatically. Remember, this is a key law. And those that have mastered this law, irrespective of their faith inclination, are truly benefiting from it. But this is a law that has its foundations in the scripture. So the children of God ought to be the biggest beneficiaries of this law. The nature of our Father is that he is a giver. And he proved that in Calvary, where he gave the best, and that was his only begotten Son. So when you're born again and you have the nature of your Father, then giving is also an expression of nature. Otherwise, my name is Pastor Tim Mwangi. Till next Saturday. See you then. I want to say thank you to the producers, the guys behind the camera, and everyone that makes this show to be possible, the millions that watch every Saturday. God bless you. Till next Saturday. See you.